What's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Extra Toppings. I am one of your hosts, Truth. I'm going to hold you down today. We're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about some great topics. Oh, gosh, hold on. I'm so behind. I'm so off. I didn't give myself no light. Let me give myself. There we go. I got to have some light here. There we go. Feel a little better now. Feel a little better. How's everybody doing? Again, those of you just first time watching us, we are Extra Toppings, where we sprinkle our thoughts and comments on top of today's news and topics. Well, we got some great things to discuss. Let me just play with this a little bit. Coming and hanging us with us again today, Mr. Ace. Ace, you here?
Yeah, I'm here, big homie.
How you doing today, man? How's everything? How's your health?
Oh, you know me. I'm maintaining, stay fighting, and health is good, man. I'm staying out the motherfucking out of public.
Nothing wrong with that. Oh man, what's good, Frank? I see you in the chat, man. Thanks for hanging with us today. Feel free to add your comments. We're gonna go through today's stories and topics. We have some new ones for you guys, and we also have some updates we want to get into. So I want to start off with an update. I want to talk about Miss Breonna Taylor and Mr. Kenneth Walker. I always want to combine them two together. I don't want to separate them because both of these individuals was wrong. So recently we had kind of I don't know if I want to say outraged, but people are upset because the ADA who's in charge of the case, Mr. Daniel, let me see if I can find him right here. I apologize. Mr. Daniel Cameron. People are upset because he posted pictures during the weekend or week of his engagement party to his future wife, his fiance. Ace, you got any problems with this?
Actually, no. I mean, I understand he's a public servant or whatever the case may be, and it's a major case going on, but the man still got to have his own personal life.
Facts.
I mean, the man's about to get married, so why he can't enjoy the fact that he's spending some time with his future wife and posting pictures? You know, so the outrage is, I think the outrage is unwarranted.
I agree with you. I think a lot of it is because of the fact that his future wife is white. What do you think about that?
From the comments and stuff that I've read, because of course, as soon as you sent me the topics, I did a little bit of snooping and digging.
Right.
Ain't nobody saying nothing about, oh, you marrying that white bitch or you marrying that cracker bitch or nothing about that devil, nothing like that. So I don't think it got anything to do with race.
So you don't think it has to do with race?
Nah, I just think it's the fact that people want immediate justice any type of investigation.
Right.
I mean, and I know it's a bad situation or whatever the case may be, and everybody feels as though these officers should be arrested immediately, which, shit just don't happen like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody wants immediate, and you know what I mean? Like, this man can't stop his personal life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not saying I'm not going to say I respect the fact that he still went through and posted pictures and all that, but I'm saying, if I was in his situation, I'm still going to celebrate my future wife.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, he a black man. The fact that he a Republican, we ain't even going to talk about that. The fact that he a goddamn Republican, but you know what I mean? I don't think race got anything to do with it. I just think it's the fact that everybody's outraged that these officers ain't charged yet, and they feel as though this man ain't doing his job and reacting fast enough.
I feel the same as you, but I do believe it is a race thing. I think whatever he loves is what he loves. Whoever I don't look at race. I don't see race. I think at the end of the day, it's all about the person is making you individually happy. And he looked like he came from money, educated. So growing up in certain neighborhoods, if all you see is a particular type of culture, obviously that's what you're going to be attracted to. But I want people. I continuously tell people this case isn't similar to any of the other cases that we've experienced. Similar to the Floyd, it's different. One, we don't have any video. We have audio of Mr. Kenneth on the phone with the 911 dispatcher, letting someone's trying to break into the house, and you hear him saying, "Who is it? Who is it?" No one's, no one's coming out and saying police. No one yelled back. So, it kind of contradicts the police saying that they did knock and they did introduce themselves, but, his 911 call, you can see they didn't. But again, what I see a lot of issues was happening here is these guys were serving a search warrant. There wasn't no body cam or anything. So it's like their word against his word.
Yeah, how are you serving a search warrant on the wrong address? Like who the hell gave you all your intel? Like, where this intel coming from?
Right. I think that.
So.
Yeah.
But not. I mean, so the whole, like, that whole case is even like, of course the officer shot or whatever upon entering, and I think that whole case has more to do with nobody wants to take the blame.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Everybody's pointing the finger at each other because now you got to realize, like, it's more than just them officers involved. Like, these officers just ain't run up in that address, and even though it was the wrong address, the warrant had that address on it. So now you got to do. Now you got the chief of police involved, or the head detective, or whatever the case may be that assigned them officers, that gave them officers the warrant to execute.
Right.
Then you got the DA involved. Somebody typed up that damn warrant and put the wrong address on it, and nobody wants to own up to it.
Facts. And I take it even further. You look at the fact that the person that the warrant was originally for was already in custody when these guys supposedly served a no-knock warrant. But I will give that area credit from the fact of, because of this tragedy, that the law has changed as far as the no-knock warrants are concerned in that state. And now they're forcing these officers to wear body cams now also.
Which they should have had body cams on anyway, executing the warrant.
Oh, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. But you always have those one or two states that want to continue to do things the old way. They really want to try to protect the officers as best as possible, whether it's right or wrong.
And if it's a no-knock warrant, why the hell are they saying that they knocked and announced themselves? It's a no-knock warrant. So technically, if it's a no-knock warrant, you ain't got to announce yourself to kick the fucking door in.
Right, and that's the thing that's kind of like has always been crazy, because you have these individuals who claim they knocked and they yelled police, but obviously they didn't know that Mr. Kenneth was on the phone with the 911 dispatcher screaming, "Who is it?" You don't hear no response. So, I think I agree with you. Everybody should have to wear the body cams so we can stop all this lying and this contradiction of, we hear the police saying the complete opposite of what actually happened.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's bigger than just the whole. It's bigger than that. There's more people. There's more people whose jobs is at jeopardy. There's elected officials whose jobs is at jeopardy with this shit.
Right,
just
right.
Because of the facts of the case itself. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like a whole bunch of people dropped the ball. The judge that signed it, the judge's clerk, the DA, the chief of police, the head detective.
Yeah, it goes all the way up.
Yeah, this shit go all the way up the food chain, man. So it's like that I don't know.
No, I feel you. I just want people to understand, unfortunately, we want things to happen immediately. And, I don't think, it's going to happen. Not with this particular case. But this man does have a life outside of work. He doesn't live, shit, eat, and breathe work. As soon as he clocks out, he has his own personal life. And he has the right to live it. Unfortunately, beyond is dead. But, he has to dot his I's and cross his T's because everything is political. And it's not like he's really willing to kind of like cross a lot of people that, are involved in this situation.
But see, like even with him, I mean, I understand he's a black man, this, that, and the third, but the whole thing with him is they knew exactly who they was voting for before they voted him in office.
Well, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, a lot of people in certain areas, one, we don't vote, and two, the way the laws and everything is, once you start having alphabets on your jacket, you aren't allowed to vote anyway. Mm-hmm. So I tell people, your vote counts with everything except for the presidential election, because that's where the whole electoral votes come in. But for your mayors, your governors, your, councilmen, your vote count. Get out there and vote. And especially in an area where we have predominantly black constituents, go out there and vote for somebody. Run. You can do these things.
But the thing with what I'm getting ready to say, it's probably gonna ruffle some feathers.
Okay.
But
no, I'm
not voting for somebody that just because of the color of their skin.
And that's the fact. You got to vote for the person that's going to bring change.
So, like, a whole bunch of African Americans voted for that man to become the district attorney just because he was African American.
Right.
They eliminated the fact that he was a Republican. They eliminated the fact of this. They eliminated this fact. They voted for him strictly because he was a black man. You know what I'm saying? So
pretty much.
And not saying that they got what the hell. I mean, pretty much they got what they voted for.
Yeah.
Y'all put that man in office. It's not like people did. It's not like he wasn't voted for.
Right.
They put that man in office. You know what I'm saying? So y'all voting for people without investigating people.
Yeah, gotta do your proper background checks and all. But I want to tell people on the Breonna case, just continue to stay patient. I don't truly think you guys are gonna get what you truly want with all these officers being arrested and doing time. I think, these guys can hide behind the no-knock warrant and we were just following orders. And I think they're really going to do it in this case. But, there is going to be some kind of justice. Unfortunately, it's always financial.
But it's going to be, I was just going to say that, it's going to be financial justice.
Right.
Ain't nobody going to jail.
Yeah, it's going to be a financial justice, unfortunately.
Yeah, because they pretty much have to protect them cops.
Right.
They have to, because if they get the cops, they got to get everybody else involved.
True. All right, so again, as always, what we do is we get more information on any of the topics we discuss. We'll always bring it up. But since we're talking about police and we're talking about cover-up and hiding behind the blue shield and everything, I want to discuss the Eric Lurie situation. All right, so I have the video for you guys. Ace sent it over, and this is the case where, actually, I want you guys to see it, and then once you guys see the video, we'll discuss it. It's about 2 minutes long, y'all. All right, so here's the video.
Hey, wake up, bitch. Let's go. Open your mouth. Open your mouth. Open your mouth. Open your mouth.
All right, we back. So, Frank, I see you. I wanted to get more information about the Vanessa situation and how the military was who covered up her death. But we'll definitely be talking about that next week, Frank. Thank you for the topic. Ace, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, so pretty much this is I have a photo of the sergeant who came out and broke this story. Now, as you can see the video, it was someone recording the screen. That was from a dash cam. Now, this case happened about 6 or 7 months ago, if I'm not mistaken. This is a gentleman who died in police custody. And if it wasn't for Sergeant Javier Butch, it's his nickname, we would have never knew exactly what happened. So in the video you see, it was a longer video. I didn't want to give you the full 10-minute video. So in the back of the police vehicle, you see him chewing on something. Obviously, he's trying to get rid of evidence. I'm not going to BS or bullshit that at all. You know, he's chewing it. He's trying to swallow it. He gets to the precinct. The sergeant you see enter is the one who, you know, he slaps him. He covers his nose to restrict his breathing. Now, mind you, he has this, you see they pull the plastic out of his throat. He can't breathe. He covered his nose from breathing for over 1 minute and 30 seconds. And then eventually the guy takes the, you know, I like to call it the metal beat stick they have, shoving it down his throat. And then eventually pull the plastic out. But by this time, this man is already dead. Or because they're trying to get evidence, him to spit it out or whatever. What do you think about this situation, Ace?
See, remember, when you first sent me that, before I found that video, remember I was saying, I said, there's too much unknown. And the video's chopped up. You know what I'm saying? So we don't really know the whole circumstances. But,
Well, there's a 10-minute video where it goes into everything and it shows, he's in the back of the car.
They were talking about it.
Yeah, he's chewing on something.
Well, see, how, my whole thing is, how did he get in that car with the bag of drugs in his mouth?
Right.
That's one. And, like, so they did an improper search. How do you not know this man got this big bag of drugs in his mouth?
Well,
the whole thing that...
We street dudes, you know we know how to stash drugs when it come to it. Push come to shove.
I mean, yeah, I understand that. You boof it. The police come, you boof it. I understand all that. But,
right.
The fact that cop, like, the way he held his nose,
right,
is basically forced him to breathe through his mouth, and I think that's what made him start choking.
Yeah, because the plastic was in his throat.
And like I said, I think, I can't say for sure, but I think that's what happened. I think he had
We'll use the proper term, allegedly.
Nah, I mean, you can't even really use allegedly because, I mean, the fact, like, it ain't the shit was in his throat. You know, so now what caused it to get in his throat? Was he attempting to swallow? Did the whole nose grab thing have something to do with it? Like, we really don't know because the video, they only have part of the video.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? The actual incident in the back of the car, it's all bits and pieces. It's all chopped up.
Right.
He's in the back of a car. Next thing you know, he's in the precinct. Next thing you know what I'm saying? Apparently, an ambulance came. He ended up in the hospital, and they pronounced him dead at the hospital.
Right.
But, like, where is the rest of this video at?
Well, see, that's the
You know
whole
what I'm saying?
the whole problem with the whole situation. One, there was no one out there obviously recording, but the fact that the body cam, and here's the issues that I'm having, and with these police and this blue shield shit that starts to piss me off. You know, obviously the fact that this case happened 6-7 months ago, They've had this
Yep.
this body cam. They had the dash cam where you see police officers pretty much breaking the law, period. And the actions of them holding the breath, knowing he has something in his throat, restricting him from breathing, causing him to die, and no one doing anything except until this police officer stepped up and said, I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't sleep at night.
Mm-hmm.
So for all the other people at that precinct, the captains, the lieutenants, who obviously watched this footage and did absolutely nothing. So it's cool for a police officer to break the law. And everyone else has to be held to a different standard. I think, me personally, police officers need to be held to a higher standard because you're policing, you're in charge. You're the ones with the gun and the badge. You're the one, obviously, it's not extensive training like other countries who make their police officers train for 2 years. They're only trained for 6 months, but you're held to a higher standard and you consistently cover up someone else breaking the law. And this is where I have the issue and the problems from.
Mm-hmm.
Now, get.
I watched the video today, and I forget the name of the damn rock group that the boy was from, but it's a black dude. He light skinned though, so he ain't got he ain't got the melanin in the system. He one of them light skinned niggas like Drake and them.
Right.
But so his views might be a little tainted by the fact that he's a light skinned nigga.
Right.
But what he said in the video made perfectly good sense to me, and it's like this is one of them cases that like this shit like you said, this shit was 6-7 months ago. Right?
Right.
And then now all of a sudden, with the whole Black Lives Matter movement, and you have this movement going on, and then you have all the whole country's in an uproar. So now all of a sudden, they're releasing this video. It's like adding more fuel to the fire.
Well, I mean, for this case, there wasn't any fuel because, again, you're just going off of obviously the doctored papers of them claiming, they tried to get it and because of the case is why he died. And it's the complete 180, the opposite of what we're actually seeing in the video. So, again, we know he passed away, but we didn't know it was the police who caused his death, which obviously wasn't going to be in the report. So this is where...
But from that little bit of a video, can you truthfully say the police caused his death?
Absolutely. And this is the reason why I say you are not taught. And like the sergeant said, and the reason why sergeants make more money is because, when they take that sergeant's test, they have to know more extent of the law. So again, you don't cover someone's nose or restrict their breathing anyhow, any way, form or fashion. That is against the police laws and the process. You're not supposed to purposely restrict someone's airways.
Okay, let me speak on that for a second.
There you go.
See, me being as though somebody that was in a situation similar to that,
right?
That's been their practice for years. That's actually a taught practice. That's how you stop a motherfucker from swallowing something. So how you stop somebody from swallowing something? They grab you by your nose and they grab you by your throat in order to stop you from swallowing. That's police practice for years. It should happen to me.
No, I feel you, but see, the thing about it, that's against their laws. There's procedures that this.
They recently changed the procedure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's been the practice for 100 years. Now they recently changed this procedure over the last year or whatever. So now you got these cops that's been on the force 10, 15, 20 years, whatever the case may be, and that's the procedure that they know.
We got a comment from Frank.
And trust me, I'm not defending the police.
Right.
That's not what I'm doing at all.
Right.
I'm not defending the police. My whole thing is like, and and I hate the motherfucking cops. But like, let me just put that out there too. I hate the motherfuckers.
Right.
But I mean, I'm a realist.
No,
I'm
real
a
talk.
realist, and you know what I'm saying? It's just somebody that's been from that little bit of the video that they released. You know what I'm saying? The sound isn't that good, so this motherfucker could already been choking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, it looked like he was he caught because he was.
Well, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me, because when the first cop got in the car, the one that smacked him was like, "Wake up, bitch."
Yeah.
That motherfucker was. Listen, dude was already going out then.
Yeah, he was
That's the
chewing. He
reason
was
why he
chewing
fucked-
those
that's
drugs.
That's the reason why That's the reason why his ass was passing out in the back of that fucking car.
Yeah, that definitely helped.
He was already. I think he was already choking. But that's the reason why they're not releasing the whole video.
Well, see, the thing about it, because they're public servants, any and everything they do is supposed to be out there for the public. And the fact that they keep covering shit up is the problem. But hold on one second. I want to get to Frank's comment. So, Frank says, I think when it comes to the police officers, they require associate's degree in the tri-state area to go into the academy. The length of training needs to equal a length of 2 years of education in the academy. He also goes on to say there's no excuse. This is a lack of training. Enforcement, they need to retouch this crap. He also goes on to say, I never had a bad experience with cops, but some of this crap I'm seeing is, let's see what's saying, associates in training. Yeah, Frank, so it's pretty much their lack of training and their lack of experience is put on blast. But what I was saying, as far as a lot of other countries, you have to train 2 years in order to become a police officer.
But see, a lot of our police officers in our country, see, they use over here. They use your military background too as part of your training. And I think that's the reason. And not make, like I said, trust me, I'm not making excuses for these motherfuckers. I do think they need to go through more training. I think our training process should be a whole lot more expensive, even if they do have military background. You know what I'm saying? Because it's different situations. Like most military shit, you dealing with terrorists, we dealing with, with motherfuckers that genuinely don't like our country.
Right.
So you handle them a different way. Now you're dealing with your own countrymen. So yeah, absolutely, I think the training needs to be a little bit more expensive. But how they're getting away with having these degrees is the fact that the majority of these motherfuckers is ex-military.
Well, the ones that are getting into these, a lot of ones that are getting into these altercations now, there are one or two of them that is, but the majority of them, they've dealt with a lot of these, a true war. They was over there, gunshots, grenades, landmines, so they can deal with a lot of stressful situations. Whereas for a lot of these officers, they probably haven't seen a black person till they went to college.
And I'm going to agree, but I'm going to disagree at the same time. Depending on the area, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But at least predominantly, these 50-50, half minority, even though we are the minority, there's still a lot of us. So everybody done dealt with it. I mean, that whole, they never dealt with black people shit, I think that's a cop-out. I mean, they dealt with it, or what extent they dealt with it, you know what I'm saying? We don't know. We don't know. We don't know what their life experiences were. But my whole thing is, like, when you got a whole bunch of ex-military running around without proper psychological evaluations and this, that, and the third, and now they policing our country, these motherfuckers is running around doing military tactics.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Them chokeholds and all that shit is taught in the military.
True.
That's that hand-to-hand, that's all that hand-to-hand combat shit in the military that they taught. Well, these motherfuckers was never taught nothing else.
Well, they've taught to.
so-
They've always had extra training on how to de-escalate a situation, which never happens. Never happens. But Frank also went on and said that a lot of this police officers don't fear losing their jobs is because of the union. The union protects them really well.
To an extent.
So
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that to an extent, but, you know, the union can only do so much with video footage. I don't give a fuck, like, what the union rep is saying. You can only do so much with video footage.
right.
Like, and, you know, most of the shit will be open and shit. But like I said, like touching on what you were saying about, you know, they go through this training, you know, how to de-escalate situations. But now you got to realize, like, most of these motherfuckers is in combat, you know. So, if they in a situation, a stressful situation, regardless of what their new training was, they're going to go back to what they real good at, the shit that saved their fucking life. So the chokeholds and all that shit, that's that shit they was using overseas and shit like that.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, wherever they were stationed at. So, I mean, and like I said, trust me, I'm not sticking up for the motherfucking police in no way, no how.
Oh, we know that.
Trust me, I'm 100% for them motherfuckers being retrained. For them, I think they need to go through psychological evaluations probably every 3 to 6 months. All that shit.
Well, that's what Frank was just saying in the comments. He was saying that, you know, there isn't, the union doesn't really concentrate on having these guys, you know, qualified training, making sure these guys mentally ready to continue to go back out there. Me personally, I think it needs to be every 3 months, fuck every 6 months. You need to have these guys healthy, mentally and physically. We keep throwing these guys back out here, and you know, once a person's background starts to add up, you shouldn't be having like 15, 16 complaints of excessive force.
Yep.
It just
Absolutely.
should just happen. So when we
But
get,
like-
yeah,
like all for the police. I mean, it's on the same thing that I'm like back home, my county jail. You know, I done did some time in my county jail. For
Right.
Shit. You know, so I met a few people that was, you know, there was 2 guards that I know have cases and what their backgrounds were, because I was actually cool with both of these guards.
Right.
C.O. Volpe and C.O. Costura, they were both Navy SEALs, right? These motherfuckers was Navy SEALs. Both of these motherfuckers, I done seen both of these motherfuckers break people's arms, all types of crazy shit, because of them being in these situations that they're supposed to be able to de-escalate. But like I was saying, these motherfuckers was trained to de-escalate a situation, but when they got into the situation, they broke the motherfucker's arm.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
they
Like, I
escalated in
seen-
a heartbeat.
Like, Volpe broke this motherfucker's arm. We was on a visit. Bo smacked his chick on a visit. Volpe snatched this Bo up and broke his fucking arm. Like, snapped his arm in 3 places. I've seen this shit happen. You know what I'm saying? So regardless of what the training is, these motherfuckers is going back to what they know if they scared.
Now, that's true. Fear brings a lot of shit out. It truly does. So once we get more information, we'll continue this conversation. But I do want to give.
I want to see the whole video.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying to you earlier, then I ended up running into that video on my timeline. Like right after I was talking to you, after I said something to you, I ended up running. But like I said, that video is cut up. Like, where the fuck's the whole video at?
Well,
Like,
see, that's the
there should
thing.
be- there's dash cam footage.
Well,
So
that's the thing.
dash cam footage.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, the dash cam footage from when that bull first got into that car, that dash cam started recording. So where's all that time from when he first got into that car to where the cops got in, when the bull was passing out in the back seat, the cops smacked him and was like, "Wake up, bitch."
Yeah.
Like, where's that footage?
Yeah,
at?
I want to see the
Because,
arrest
like-
too. I want to see if these guys,
Because-
you know, their body cams was activated And we need to have body cams that run. We don't need that. I don't want the police officer turning it off, having the opportunity to turn it off. I don't want them having the opportunity to turn off the sound. If we're going to have the police who is paid to do the right thing, they need to be recorded and videotaped at all times. Period.
Because like I said, and then in the little bit part of that video, the one cop, as soon as he realized that motherfucker was choking, he started administering CPR.
Yeah.
Once he realized that, you know what I'm saying? Like, the one cop started administering CPR as soon as he realized this shit. You know, before they dug the baton in and dug the plastic out, this motherfucker was already administering CPR.
Well, he was rubbing
him,
but you don't stick no baton in nobody's fucking mouth. Come on now. You're sticking that shit down his throat.
But you can't stick your fingers in somebody's mouth. If they start seizing, they bite your fingers
Hey,
off.
at the end of the day, if he spit it out, he shit it out, it is what it is. But, you know, there are certain causes like me as a person, you don't want to put your fingers in there, right. But then you know the motherfucker got something.
If it's stuck in his windpipe, he ain't shitting out nothing. If it's stuck in his windpipe, ultimately he gonna choke to death. He gonna die.
Oh, true. I think the fact of the matter with this case, it'll be more the lines of the fact that instead of them releasing it,
why are they waiting 7 months to release it?
Exactly. The fact that they didn't release it really looks, because first of all, the man's handcuffed. You don't walk into a car, slap the shit out of him. And then, all right, like I said, you got the video camera. You see he chewing shit. You know he got something. You know he got something. So,
see, but that goes back to what I'm saying. Was this motherfucker? Because was he already fucking choking when all this shit happened? You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I need to see that part of the video when they first put him in the car. When did he actually start choking?
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll get more information.
The very beginning of the video that they released, the very first thing we see in the video is the cop getting in the car, smacking him, saying, "Wake up, bitch."
Right.
Which is fucked up in itself. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there's a but there. Like, why the fuck was this motherfucker passing out in the first place?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the fact that there's going to be an investigation now. Hopefully we'll get to see a lot more information. But I just wanted to give this officer credit because we would have never knew if he wouldn't have recorded that screen and broke the silence. So I do want to say again, this is a cop who believed there's a difference between right and wrong. And the fact that this, he couldn't live with it anymore and he finally came out with it. Obviously, they buried it for as long as they did, so he knew about it and he just couldn't take it anymore. So I want to give him credit for coming out and actually bringing this to our attention. All right, so let's keep it moving. I wanted to talk about Crystal Caldwell. Okay, this is a employee of the Quality Inn in Mesquite. So it's a video. It's about 2 minutes long. So I'm going to play the video for you. It doesn't have any sound. We're going to stay here. So you'll probably hear us commenting on it. So I just wanted to show the video. So she's an employee here at this establishment. You see here in the photo there, someone's grabbing ice. You see the lady come out to assist the lady. And then all of a sudden you see the husband and wife and they just pretty much jump her. Throw her to the ground, they stomp on her. You see other people in the hotel come to her defense and break the situation up. But in a report it says she was attacked 2 separate occasions. They called her a monkey and all kinds of other stuff. You don't deserve to be in this country. The normal shit people do when it comes to situations like this. So Ace, when it comes to this topic, subject here, what do you know about this one?
Well, I read the article. supposedly the couple called down to the desk. There was something wrong in the room. Something in the room didn't work. So the lady gave them an option of either they could wait so she can get maintenance up to the room, or she could switch their room.
Right.
And I guess they didn't like. I guess they didn't like that answer. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what answer they was looking for, but I guess they didn't like that answer. Which, I mean, me personally, I'd have got my room switched and been done with the shit. But
Exactly. If it ain't working, I got an opportunity to get, hey, maybe even an upgrade or something, you know, and switch up.
Yeah,
So,
for my inconvenience.
exactly. So
Absolutely. I definitely the inconvenience fee.
it didn't have to get physical. So the real issue or problem we're having with this topic here is the two individuals involved in this situation have not been arrested.
Yeah.
To me, this is where the problem occurs. You obviously have video proof of two individuals assaulting someone else. You didn't even bring them in for questioning, anything like that. So what's going on here? Why we have two white people attacking one black person, and there's no arrest?
Man, that's what's going on in today's America, man.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's fucked up. I don't know why chick ain't throw a punch back trying to defend herself. I don't know if she was caught off guard, but the whole situation is a little fucked up.
Yeah.
Not a little fucked up; it's a lot fucked up.
Yeah.
First off, for fuck white and black for a man to hit a woman like that in the first place. Like, I mean, period. You know, I don't know what kind of man he is or thinks he is, but I ain't never been one to hit a woman. That ain't never been my thing, regardless of what the situation was. I understand, like, shit, like, you know, it's a reaction, but for you to go find this woman and talk, basically, she was a target. It was a premeditated attack on her.
Pretty much.
Nah. Yeah, nah.
They didn't. There was no conversation. They showed up. They saw her, and they immediately started putting hands on her. I'm gonna get to Frank real quick. Frank, she did try to press charges. She also had contacted her lawyer. She's suing the hotel and she's suing the family. But the fact of the matter is the fact that these guys, the husband and wife, were not put into handcuffs, even though you clearly see the assault. And Frank, also, a lot of these hotels, they have video, but they don't have video and audio. So hopefully we get some more information about this, and we'll be able to let you know, because all we know as far right now is the fact that, you know, this lady was assaulted. She and her lawyer did the proper things to the authorities and get things going. But the big problem here is that the two that assaulted the woman have not been arrested for assault.
Nope.
Just want to put that out there. All right, so let's keep it moving. And since we're talking about people assaulting police officers and stuff, let's bring this topic up here. We're talking about and I'm going to jack their names up, I'm sorry. It's the Westenbergs, Julian and Eric. These are the two individuals who were involved with the dispute with a black mother and her two daughters outside of the Chipotle, where alleged someone bumped into someone, and then we had the dispute. And Ace, you said that wasn't caught, that the husband himself pulled out his firearm first.
No, and nobody bumped into anybody. The couple was backing up and almost ran the black woman and her daughter over, and the black woman, like a reaction, she like hit the back of the car. That's what I read.
Well, this started when someone was coming out and someone was coming in. All right, Julian bumped. Go ahead.
I don't know. I think the black woman was on foot, and they almost ran her over. I don't.
Well, no,
think it was
that's after but just before the Julianne pull out the gun. So it started off where you have one party coming out of Chipotle and the other one going in. Okay, Julianne allegedly bumped one of the daughters, 15-year-old daughter, and obviously they felt some type of way about it. They confronted them about it. And this is where you see the dispute. It was like, I should have probably obviously showed the video, but it was like 10 minutes and I didn't want to do that. But what happens is, first, I give Julianne credit. She's not being extremely harsh. She's not saying words she shouldn't be saying. She's trying to de-escalate it. But obviously, it's already there. The family already feels that Julianne purposely did it. And this is where the video catches up, where you have the two individuals going at it. She rolls the window down. She tries to apologize. And where it takes it really escalates, it takes the next level, is where the family, obviously, it's over. She rolls the window up, and the husband backs up, and the mother is behind the vehicle, and he, pretty much looks like he's trying to hit her with the car. And that's when it escalated, and that's where she gets out. You hear it, and you see her cock a weapon, and she's pointing it. And while we'll give her credit, her finger wasn't on the trigger. It was on the side of the weapon. And I also want to state these two were individuals who have license to carry concealed weapons. So it wasn't illegal. They have license to carry the weapons. But it went from 0 to 100 real quick when the husband tried to back the vehicle up, whether he knew the mother or the mother wasn't behind the vehicle. That's when we see, again, his wife pulls out and points the gun at the mother. And this is where you see, it goes really quick, crazy. So the police did arrest the husband and wife, and they charged them with assault. There were
charged them both for aggravated assault, but they only had a $500 bail apiece.
$50,000 apiece.
What was it?
$50,000 apiece. Bail bond that they were able to get out on. But they were also, because while this investigation is ongoing, they're not allowed to leave the state, and they had to turn over to the police all of their firearms. So, in this case, I do want to say I don't think the husband and wife really wanted or set out to make it go to this route. I don't know whether he knew the mother was behind his car or not. Hopefully he didn't. But the wife didn't immediately pull out the firearm during this whole altercation until towards the end. So I wanted to give this police force credit because they followed the proper steps. They arrested the husband and wife. They hit them with charges, and while they do their investigation, I could pretty much almost guarantee you those charges are going to be dropped. But the fact that they dotted their I's and they crossed their T's, because they didn't want any backlash like we saw in the prior story where people started to cover up.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm like I said, I like the fact of how she tried to escalate it. The firearm wasn't pulled out immediately, because you got some people knowing they got firearms, and that's the very first thing they're trying to do is pull out a gun and put fear in somebody's heart.
Definitely true.
So again, more information we get on this story, we're gonna give it to you. But again, I wanted to commend the police for, again, dotting their I's, crossing their T's immediately, putting these two into custody, arresting them. Obviously, they were going to get out on bond because, if it's 50 with 10, they only had to pay $500. So that's probably the $500 you read, Ace, in that situation. So again,
they only had to pay $500 to get out.
Yeah, so they got hit with that, so that's nothing. But again, I want to thank the police department and everyone from doing this properly. Obviously, again, I'm telling you that these charges are going to be dropped after they look over everything. But again, commends to the police for following the proper procedures in this one. All right, let's keep it moving.
I ain't never had a $500 bill. I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Yo, man, you ain't the only one, man. You are not the only one. All right, so let's see here. Let's talk about, we got two more stories and we'll talk about this one. So I wanted to talk about Elijah McClain. This is, again, because of the George Floyd and everything that's happening because of it. This is a man who died in 2019. This is what I want people to understand. This case is old, but because of Floyd, a lot of these cases that happened prior are getting more light and more shine. So I want to show you the 30-second video. It has some audio. This is Elijah who's coming back from the store after purchasing iced tea. Here's the video.
Something Aurora Fire says is standard protocol around our region.
Stop. Stop. I have a right to stop you because you're being suspicious. Come on. You don't to be sensitive. Grab your gun, dude. Stop, dude. All right. Just drive it right behind his ear if he fights, all right?
Now, Aurora police insist they are not the ones who requested the use of ketamine. It was Aurora paramedics. McClain went into cardiac arrest on his way to the hospital. He died 6 days later.
And according to an autopsy, the coroner could not determine how McClain died and wouldn't rule out homicide at the hands of Aurora PD, but added it may have been physical.
Hey, wake up, bitch.
All right, so there you have the video. So this is Elijah who's coming back from the store. He was approached by a police officer saying that he looked suspicious. And what I want to tell people out here, I don't care if you're black, white, or whatever your color of your skin is, know your rights. Being suspicious is not a crime, people. And a lot of these officers, they're saying these people look suspicious and they want to arrest them. That is not a crime. Now, suspicion of what crime? What crime do you suspect this person of committing? You can't just hold off and say, you're suspicious, come over here, let me talk to you, let me rough you up. And that's against the law. So he was put in the chokehold, he was wrestled to the ground. And also what you see here is you see them administering ketamine, which pretty much made the situation even worse. This young man had 2 heart attacks on his way to the hospital. He was on a ventilator for several weeks, brain dead. And again, this happened in 2019, and now we're getting a lot more information on this horrible situation here. Anything you want to say before we get into the police officers on this one, Ace?
It's a well. Go ahead, get on to the cops. We'll get into the cops and talk about it all at once.
All right. So,
yeah.
Reason why, again, this pretty much came out 20 minutes before we started the show, which is why we started a little late, but I wanted to get into that, and I wanted to put it out there. All right, so the 4 police officers that were, give me 1 second, I'm trying to find it. So the 4 police officers that were involved in this case, all right, here we go right here. All right, 3 of the 4 were fired today. Now, again, this story came out like about 4 p.m. today. So 3 of the 4 were fired. The 4th one resigned before, he could be fired. So the police officer's name, all right. So the chief is Vanessa Wilson. She's the one who fired Erica Marrero. Cal Dittrich, Jerron Jones, and Jason Rosenberg. These are the officers that were involved. So what happened is these officers went back to the scene of the crime of the memorial and took a photo of themselves and also marked the choking and sent it to the last police officer. What was it? Was Jason, who laughed, ha 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 ha, because of the story, and she fired the chief fired his ass just for laughing at the photo. Go ahead, Ace.
Not going. I was listening to you. Yeah, I wasn't chiming in. I was listening to what you were saying. If you're done, I'll wait till you're done.
Yeah. So what we're seeing is we're seeing just it happened before, but we're getting the steam now. We're starting to see these police officers starting to pay for their actions. Now, when this investigation first started, these police officers were released while they were on administrative leave with pay. But now they have been totally fired, so that pay and everything is going to stop. But this goes to show you the lack of respect some people have for others, for you to go back to the memorial of where this young man's death occurred and to mock his death, to take a photo and start sending it to other officers, and officers respond with laughing at the situation. I'm done. Go ahead, Ace.
See, and this is another one of those things that they're releasing this information now, right? But if you read the whole article, like they've been on administrative leave since June 25th, so basically a week ago. They were put on administrative leave and then ultimately fired today.
Right.
But this selfie was actually taken October 20th of last year.
Yep.
So what's the 9-month hold up on them releasing of this? So for the last 9 months, all these cops were on duty until they were just suspended a week ago and then let go today?
Pretty much. And that's why they asked for this case to be reopened, because eventually it was closed. But again, because of the George Floyd situation, a lot of these cases where police officers and death is being caused of individuals in police officers' custody, a lot of these cases are getting reopened.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely. But like I said, once this is over, I'm going to send you this video. We'll talk about it next week. And we'll touch back on all these cases, because I alluded to it when we first started the show.
Right.
But you have to see the video that I was talking about, and you'll understand why my views on some of this are a little bit like all this exposure that shit is getting now that's old. Why my views are what my views are right now, because this bowl made a lot of sense to me today. You know what I mean? Like, this shit is a year old.
Yep.
Damn near. You know what I mean? This shit is 9 months old. Like, why are they waiting until the country is burning itself the fuck down? You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
To release this shit.
Facts.
Like, why are they still throwing wood on a fire that's fizzling out? Why are y'all restarting this bullshit?
No arguments there.
I already sent you the video. Watch me watch this video. You were like, you gonna call me. You were like, what the fuck? I ain't never even think of it that way, because that's the way I was. You know me, like, I'm anti-police, and I watched this video today, and I was like, man, this shit making a little bit of fucking sense. You know what I mean? Like, that case is a fucking year old, man. Why is this shit just now coming out now? Why are they reopening? Like, what's going on in the police departments as a whole that's making them reopen cases that they closed?
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, I agree with you.
Like y'all closed that case and basically said there was no wrongdoing. But now all of a sudden you're reopening this case and adding and telling us about some fucking selfie that was taken 9 months ago and using that as part of your reasoning for reopening the case. So if y'all got this selfie back in October, why the fuck y'all ain't reopened the case back in October?
I'm gonna check the video out. I'll put it up next week, and we'll retouch on this topic and a lot of other topics that's been going on. So I want to end on this note. Go ahead.
That the video that I sent, like the video that I sent you,
Right.
it's not really talking about, like, it really doesn't touch on, new shit that happened. So it's really not focused. It's not going to change how you feel about the Breonna Taylor situation, the George Floyd situation that's brand new, and countless other situations that's brand new that's being handled right now in the media.
Right.
But what it's going to touch on is the fact that they're bringing up all this shit now from 7 months ago, 9 months ago, a year ago. They're making all this shit public. They're making all this shit public information now. Why? And not saying we calmed down, over the whole George Floyd situation and the Breonna Taylor situation. Not saying we calmed down. But, like, shit ain't getting burnt down no more. The peaceful protest is still peaceful outside of these white supremacists and all that shit speaking in, like, hanging out during the fucking march areas and talking a little bit of bullshit.
Right.
Whatever the case may be. But the whole uproar has fizzled. The uproar fizzled. But it just seems to me like these motherfuckers just trying to restart the fire.
We'll see. We'll get into it next week. Sounds good. So I want to end on the show today with Dr. Dre and Nicole Young. She filed for divorce after 24 years. So, and, the big story is he doesn't have it. The couple, when they got married, they didn't have a prenup. Dr. Dre is worth estimated $800 million. So how do you see this going down? You think she's going to get half? She's going to ask for half? What's going on?
I personally don't think she's going to get, I know she's going to get a nice chunk. She's not going to get half, though. Because from what I've seen or what I've heard or whatever on that, she filed for irreconcilable differences, basically saying we grew apart.
Right.
Growing
I mean, 24
apart,
years is a long time. They had 2 kids.
Yeah.
He 24 years, 2 kids, all of them are grown. Well, all of his kids are grown. So it's not like he has to worry about child support. But,
but yeah, I don't think it's going to be a Michael Jordan type settlement. It ain't going to be no Tiger Woods type settlement. Like, I don't think it's going to be that high.
You don't think so?
Even though the majority of his wealth was accumulated within the last 24 years, that motherfucker ain't making an beat. You know what I'm saying? And Michael Jordan's wife had, proof of infidelity.
Right.
Tiger Woods' wife had proof of infidelity. She filed for divorce under irreconcilable differences, basically meaning pretty much saying we grew apart. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, 24 years.
So,
you grow apart.
It's pretty much a no-fault divorce. That's going to be one of them divorces that's going to end. It's probably not going to go in front of no judge. They're probably going to be in front of an arbitrator, and they're going to sit down with their lawyer here and lawyer here. That's not even going to make it to a judge. And they're going to come with an agreement. He might end up giving her $150 million, but 150 is better than 400.
You ain't lying. He gonna give her a nice little chunk. But what I like about this situation, you don't see any smear campaign going on here. You know, you just have an individual, like you said. Hey, we've grown apart. I want to move on. I mean, she doesn't look like she's 50, but she's 50 years old. She wants to go out there and, reestablish her life, which, there's nothing wrong with that. But the fact that, you know, she didn't come out with this or that, and the fact that as of now, everything's being
Yeah.
kept behind doors.
Yeah, she didn't pull a Michelle A on him.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That chick,
Yeah,
boy.
she ain't pull a Michelle A talking about he was whooping her ass and all that bullshit. But you know, so
That is true. That is true. But again, like I said, I commend them, because what I think a lot of people don't do, and they need to do more of, once you know it's over, end it on a good note instead of becoming enemies and hating each other. Because at one point in time, you were friends.
we still got a co-parent though, because our two kids eventually going to end up married and all that. So we got weddings and shit to do.
Exactly. Grandkids and shit, you know what I mean? We don't want to be hostile while we're around each other and stuff like that. So I just want to commend them for doing it this way. You know, you have a lot of people out there, you know, that it gets bad, it gets, you know, ugly,
Yeah,
and you want
keep
this,
that
you
shit
want
classy.
that.
You know what I'm saying? Keep that shit classy, man. You know, like y'all life been private all this time, all these years. You know, y'all life been private for 24 years, because most people prior to this whole divorce thing coming out, most people didn't know who Dr. Dre's wife was.
Real talk.
You know what I'm saying? And with him being who he is, like he kept his kids sheltered, he kept his kids out the limelight. So everything that he was supposed to do and everything they were supposed to do as a couple, they did.
Well, you
know
said
what I'm saying?
they did it the right way. They raised their kids the right way. They didn't put them all in social media. They didn't put all their business out there, which I think really helped them get to the 24 years.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? Now, we don't know what's really going on with motherfuckers saying Dre was gay. Maybe she got sick of this nigga wanting to get fucked with the dildo. I don't know. I don't know. But, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, she keeping the shit classy, man. And it's pretty much right now with everything that's going on, ain't no use to give motherfuckers something else to talk about black people.
No, I feel you on that one.
You know what I mean? Like, ain't no time to give them more reason to talk about it.
All right,
You know
y'all.
what I'm saying?
So it was another story I wanted to talk about, but I wanted to spend some good time on this. So we'll talk about it next week. I want to talk about the Will and Jada situation with Edista, with the whole open marriage and shit.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that next week. I want to thank you for hanging out with me today, Ace.
Absolutely, my brother.
Appreciate it, sir. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut this down. I'm going to tag this up. I'll send you the link tonight, if not tomorrow morning. But I'm definitely going to check that video out. Any last words before we get out of here today?
Now, watch the video. And then share it to your page for everybody to see it. But copy the link on the video.
Got you.
You know what I mean? Like copy the link for the video on our video from this. And I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, the light-skinned boy made some good points. He's light-skinned, so, you know, he got a strike against him already. But the boy has some real good points, man.
All right, I'm going to check it out. All right, y'all. Thanks again for hanging out with us. We'll see y'all next week.
All right.